I had 48 hours to seduce the most dangerous man in New York, plant the device, and disappear before he killed me. Simple. Clinical. Except nobody warned me about Alexei Volkov's eyes, how they could strip away every lie I'd ever told, how his voice, low and Russian-edged, could make "stay" sound like both a threat and a promise. The plan was foolproof. Get hired as his private art consultant, access his vault, transmit the files that would dismantle his empire. But on day 3, when I reached for the hidden drive in his office, his hand closed around my wrist. He leaned in, lips brushing my ear, and whispered the 5 words that changed everything. "I know why you're here." Then he locked the door. Now I'm trapped in his penthouse. No phone, no backup. And the man I came to destroy is circling me like I'm the most dangerous thing he's ever encountered. Because Alexei Volkov doesn't just want the truth. He wants me, confession, betrayal, and all. This is the story of how I was sent to betray the Mafia boss, and how everything went wrong. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. I post emotional Mafia romance stories like this every day. Before we dive in, tell me in the comments, would you risk everything for revenge? Or would you walk away when you discovered the truth? And also, tell me, where are you watching from? I love seeing all the countries and cities you join from. Now, let's dive into the story. 3 days earlier, none of this seemed real. I stood in a Manhattan gallery, pretending to admire a Caravaggio while my heart hammered against my ribs. The painting was fake, I knew it instantly. Wrong brushwork. Too careful. Caravaggio painted like he was fighting the canvas. Beautiful, isn't it? The voice came from behind me. Deep. Accented. Russian. I turned slowly. Alexei Volkov was taller than his photographs suggested. Dark hair, sharp jawline, a suit that cost more than my yearly rent. But it was his eyes that stopped me. Dark, intelligent, and far too knowing. This was the man who killed my sister. "It's a forgery," I said, keeping my voice steady. His eyebrows lifted. "Is it? The chiaroscuro is too refined. Caravaggio was violent with his contrasts. This is technically perfect, which makes it perfectly wrong." I gestured at the canvas. Whoever painted this studied him, but didn't understand him. A slow smile transformed his face. Dangerous and intrigued. "You know your art." Yale. Art history. Italian Baroque specialization. All true. The FBI training that came after, that part was classified. Alexei Volkov. He extended his hand. I took it. His grip was warm, lasting a fraction too long. Kira Ashford. Independent art consultant. "I'm hosting a private viewing next week. Authentic pieces only." His smile sharpened. "Would you be interested in consulting? I pay exceptionally well." This was it. 6 months of preparation for this exact moment. "Very interested," I said. He pulled out a card. Heavy stock, gold lettering. "My assistant will contact you." As he turned to leave, he paused. Kira Ashford. I'll remember that name. When he disappeared into the crowd, I counted to 30 before whispering into my concealed earpiece. "Did you get that?" My FBI handler Sienna Cross responded immediately. Every word. "You're in." I stared at the fake Caravaggio, thinking about Maria. About the phone call 3 years ago that shattered everything. About Director Callahan pulling me aside and saying, "We know who did this. Help us bring him down." My phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Dinner tomorrow. 8 p.m. Dress code. Stunning. AV. Tomorrow." So fast. I typed back. "Address? My driver will collect you. Send your location." Control. He needed to maintain control. I sent my apartment address and watched the message turn to read. 3 disappeared then. "Looking forward to it, Kira. You're going to be extraordinary." Extraordinary. I stared at that word until my vision blurred. Tomorrow night, I'd have dinner with my sister's killer. I'd smile, laugh, and pretend to be charmed. And then I'd destroy him. For Maria. For justice. No matter what it cost me. The black dress arrived at noon. No note. No return address. Just a sleek black box tied with silver ribbon, delivered by a man in a suit who disappeared before I could ask questions. Inside, tissue paper rustled like secrets. The dress beneath was stunning, midnight silk that caught the light like water, with a neckline that walked the line between elegant and dangerous. It fit perfectly. Of course it did. Alexei Volkov didn't do things halfway. I stood in front of my mirror, barely recognizing myself. The woman staring back looked confident, sophisticated, like she belonged in penthouses and private galleries. Not like an FBI agent whose hands shook when she thought too hard about what tonight meant. My phone buzzed. Sienna, device is in your clutch. Activated by pressure. Plan it anywhere in his office or vault. You'll have maybe 3 minutes. 3 minutes to change everything. I typed back. Understood.
Kira.
Be careful. Volkov's killed people for less than what you're about to do. I knew. God, I knew. But Maria's face kept flashing through my mind. Her laugh. The last text she'd sent. Love you, sis.
See you Sunday.
Sunday never came. The car arrived at 7:30. Black SUV with tinted windows. The driver was built like a wall, scarred knuckles, cold eyes, the kind of man who'd buried bodies and slept fine after. Miss Ashford, he said, opening the door. I slid into leather seats that probably cost more than my monthly rent. The door closed with a heavy, final sound. We drove through Manhattan as twilight turned the city gold. I watched buildings blur past, trying to steady my breathing. The clutch in my lap felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Inside, smaller than a dime, was the device that would transmit everything within 50 feet. Conversations. Passwords. Evidence that would dismantle Volkov's empire. All I had to do was plan it and walk away. Simple. Except nothing about Alexei Volkov felt simple. The restaurant didn't have a sign. Just a black door on a street corner in Tribeca. The driver opened my door, gestured toward the entrance. Mr. Volkov is waiting. Inside was intimate and expensive. Candlelight, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. The kind of place where asking about prices meant you didn't belong. Alexei stood when I entered. He'd traded his gallery suit for something darker, perfectly tailored, making him look like he owned not just the restaurant, but the entire city beyond the windows. His eyes traveled over me slowly, appreciatively. Kira. My name sounded different in his accent.
Softer.
Dangerous. You look devastating. Thank you for the dress. I have excellent taste. He pulled out my chair. In many things. I sat, hyper-aware of his proximity. He smelled like cedar and smoke and something expensive I couldn't name. Wine, he asked. Please. He ordered in flawless Italian. The waiter disappeared. We were alone. Tell me about yourself, Alexei said, leaning back. Studying me. Beyond Yale. Beyond art. Who is Kira Ashford when she's not analyzing forgeries? I'd prepared for this. Rehearsed answers that mixed truth with carefully constructed lies. I'm boring, really.
Work.
Museums. The occasional gallery opening. Boring? His smile was knowing. I don't believe that for a second. Why not? Because boring women don't look at fake Caravaggios with the kind of passion you showed yesterday. Like you were personally offended by its existence. He leaned forward. You feel things deeply, Kira. That's rare. Valuable. The wine arrived. He raised his glass. To art, he said. And to people brave enough to see the truth. We drank. The wine was extraordinary. Probably cost more than my car payment. What about you? I asked. Who is Alexei Volkov beyond the reputation? His expression shifted. Something almost vulnerable flickered across his face. A man who learned early that beauty is worth protecting in a world that wants to destroy everything good. He set down his glass. My father was murdered when I was 12. After that, I learned to hold on to beautiful things before they disappear. The honesty caught me off guard. This wasn't in his file. The FBI profile painted him as cold, calculating, ruthless. Not this. Not raw truth in candlelight. I'm sorry, I said. And meant it. Don't be. It made me who I am. His eyes held mine. Strong enough to protect what matters. Ruthless enough to destroy what threatens it. The words hung between us like a promise. Or a warning. I couldn't tell which. Dinner lasted 2 hours. We talked about art, about lost masterpieces and forgotten painters. He asked about my favorite period, Renaissance, I said, because Caravaggio painted like he was confessing sins. He laughed, said I understood more than most scholars. The conversation flowed too easily, like we'd known each other for years instead of days. I almost forgot why I was there. Almost. Come, Alexei said as dessert plates were cleared. I want to show you something. My pulse jumped. Show me what? My collection. The real one. Not the pieces I display for investors. He stood, offered his hand. Unless you'd rather go home? This was it. The opening I needed. I'd love to see it, I said. His penthouse was 10 blocks away. We rode in silence, his hand resting casually on the seat between us. Close enough that I felt the heat of his skin. The building was all glass and steel. Security in the lobby checked IDs, scanned bags. My clutch, with its hidden device, passed through without issue. The elevator required a keycard. We shot upward, so fast my stomach dropped. When the doors opened, I forgot to breathe. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked Manhattan like the city was bowing at our feet. But it was the art that stole my breath. A Monet above the fireplace. A Degas bronze catching light. A Picasso from his blue period that should have been in a museum. This is incredible, I whispered. This is nothing. Alexei moved through the space like he owned the air itself. The vault is downstairs. That's where I keep the pieces that matter. The vault. Exactly where I needed to plant the device. I'd love to see it. He studied me for a long moment, those dark eyes seeing too much. Not tonight, he said finally. Tonight, you've earned my trust. But trust isn't the same as access. That takes time. Disappointment hit hard. I'd been so close. Of course, I said. I understand. Do you? He crossed to me slowly, deliberately. Because I get the feeling you're here for more than just art, Kira. My heart hammered. What else would I be here for? That's what I'm trying to figure out. His hand lifted to my face. Fingers tracing my jawline. You're nervous. Have been all night. Like you're waiting for something to happen. I'm not. Aren't you? His thumb brushed across my lower lip. Your left hand keeps reaching for your clutch. Like whatever's inside matters more than anything I'm saying. Terror flooded through me. He knew. Somehow he knew. I'm just careful with my things, I said. He didn't look convinced. Let me see it. What? Your clutch. Show me. Time slowed. Every option flashed through my mind. Run. Fight. Lie harder. None of them would work. Why? I asked. Because I want to know what you're hiding, Solnishko. That word again. Little son. And because if you refuse, I'll know for certain you're lying. My hand tightened on the clutch. Inside, the device felt like it was burning. I'm not hiding anything. Prove it. We stood frozen. His hand still on my face. Mine clutching the evidence that would destroy him. Then footsteps sounded behind us. Heavy. Multiple sets. I turned. 3 men entered from a side hallway. All armed. All watching me with dead eyes. Mr. Volkov, one said. The background check came back. Alexei's expression didn't change. And Kira Ashford exists. Yale degree. Published papers. Everything checks out. A pause. Except for a 6-month gap 3 years ago. Right after her sister Maria was killed. The world tilted. Her sister worked as a paralegal, the man continued. Killed in courthouse crossfire. The investigation was handled by the FBI. He looked at me. Specifically, by Director Callahan's task force targeting organized crime. Alexei's hand dropped from my face. His expression went cold. Closed. I can explain, I said quickly. Can you? His voice was ice. Explain how you coincidentally appeared at the same gallery where I was viewing art? How you coincidentally have the exact expertise I need? How your sister coincidentally died in an incident my organization was blamed for. Alexei, please. Search her, he said flatly. The guards moved fast. One grabbed my arms while another took the clutch, opened it roughly. The device fell onto the marble floor. Small. Damning. Alexei stared at it. Then at me. FBI standard issue, he said quietly. Audio transmitter. He looked up. You were going to plant this in my vault. Record everything. Destroy me. You kill my sister, I said. Voice breaking. What did you expect? I expected honesty. He stepped closer. I expected the woman who looked at that Caravaggio with such passion to have the courage to tell me the truth. The truth? You're a criminal. A killer.
Yes.
But I didn't kill Maria.
His eyes held mine.
And deep down, Kira, I think you already know that. The words hit like a physical blow. What? Day after tomorrow, we're going to have a very different conversation. About who really killed your sister. About why the FBI sent you after the wrong man. He gestured to the guards. Take her to the guest suite. Lock the door. No phone. No contact with anyone. You're keeping me prisoner? I'm keeping you alive. He picked up the device, crushed it under his heel. Because when whoever you're working for realizes you've been compromised, they'll either extract you or eliminate you. And I can't protect you if you leave. The guards pulled me toward the hallway. Alexei. I struggled against their grip. Let me go. He turned his back, walked to the window,
Stared out at the city.
Good night, Kira, he said quietly. Tomorrow, we find out if you're brave enough to hear the truth. The door slammed shut. The lock clicked. And I was alone. I didn't sleep. How could I? The guest suite was beautiful. King bed with silk sheets, windows overlooking Manhattan, art on the walls that probably cost more than my apartment. But it was still a cage. I tried the door.
Locked.
The windows. Bulletproof. My phone.
Gone.
Taken when they searched me. I was completely cut off. Sienna would know something went wrong when the device stopped transmitting. She'd send a team. Or she'd assume I was dead. Neither option helped me now. At dawn, I heard footsteps outside. The lock turned. Alexei entered carrying a tray.
Coffee.
Pastries. Like this was a normal morning. You look tired, he said. You locked me in a room. What did you expect? He set the tray down. I expected you to think. To question everything you've been told. He poured coffee with steady hands.
Did you?
Or did you spend the night planning how to escape?
Both.
Neither. I didn't know anymore. You said you didn't kill Maria. I said finally. Prove it. That's why I'm here. He handed me coffee.
Come.
I want to show you something. More art. Evidence. He led me to a room on the third floor. Hidden behind a false wall, secured with biometric locks. Inside looked like a war room. Monitors. Files. Maps tracking operations across continents. This is my real office, Alexei said, closing the door. Everything you need to know is here. He pulled out thick folders, laid them across the desk. 3 years ago, Marcus Vane wanted my territory. Shipping routes. Distribution networks. I refused. He opened the first folder. He declared war by making hits look like my work.
Public.
Brutal. Designed to draw federal attention. Photos spilled out. Crime scenes. Bodies. Newspaper clippings. Your sister was leaving the courthouse. Wrong place. Wrong time. He pulled out crime scene photos. The shooter was aiming for Judge Harrison. Maria got caught in the crossfire. My hands shook as I looked at the images. I'd seen them before. Callahan had shown me. But he'd said Alexei ordered the hit. The shooter, I whispered. Who was he? Dmitry Kozlov. Vane's enforcer. Alexei pulled up more files. He died in a police shootout 2 days later. Convenient. Before he could talk. This could be fabricated. It could be, but it's not. He turned a laptop toward me. Bank records. Offshore accounts. Payments from Vane to your director Callahan. 3 million over 4 years. I stared at the screen. Transaction after transaction.
Dates.
Amounts. Shell companies that traced back to Vane's organization. Callahan's been on Vane's payroll the entire time, Alexei continued. Every investigation that got close to Vane, Callahan killed it. Reassigned agents. Buried evidence. My stomach twisted. That's why he pushed me toward you. Exactly. As long as you were hunting me, you weren't looking at Vane. You were the perfect distraction.
His voice softened.
I'm sorry, Kira. Your grief. Your need for justice. He weaponized it. I sank into a chair. 3 years. 3 years believing a lie. Why didn't you just tell me? At the gallery, at dinner. Why let me walk into this? Because you wouldn't have believed me. You needed to commit. To get close enough that when I revealed the truth, you'd have no choice but to listen. He crouched in front of me. I know what it's like to lose family. To want revenge so badly it consumes everything. But Kira, I didn't kill Maria. And I can prove it. He pulled up more files. Time-stamped photos. Security footage. Alexei in Moscow the day Maria died. Meetings. Restaurants. 20 witnesses. I wasn't even in the country, he said. The evidence was overwhelming. Undeniable. Vane killed her, I said numbly. And Callahan covered it up. Yes. Rage built in my chest. Hot. Blinding. Why are you showing me this? Because I need your help. I looked up sharply. My help. Vane's hosting a gala next weekend. Underground auction. Invitation only. He moves product. Makes deals. It's the perfect opportunity to get him on record admitting everything. Alexei stood. But I need someone he doesn't know. Someone who can get close. Record him. Gather evidence that even Callahan can't bury. You want me to go undercover. I want you to get justice for your sister. Real justice. He offered his hand. Work with me, Kira. Not against me. Together. We destroy both of them. I stared at his hand. At the man I'd spent 3 years hating. Everything I believed was wrong. The enemy I'd been hunting was innocent. The people I'd trusted were guilty. If I do this, I said slowly. If I help you, what happens after? After, you're free. Walk away. Return to your life. I won't stop you. He paused. But Kira, I think we both know you won't want to. Why not? His hand cupped my face. Gentle. Devastating. Because somewhere between that fake Caravaggio and this moment you started seeing me. Not the monster. Not the criminal.
Me.
His thumb brushed my cheek. And I started seeing you as more than an FBI agent with a vendetta. I see someone brave. Passionate. Someone who understands that the world isn't as simple as good and evil. My breath caught. Alexei. I'm not asking for forever. I'm asking for a chance. Help me destroy Vane. Get justice for Maria. And then decide if what's between us is real or just proximity and adrenaline. He was right. I'd felt it at dinner. The pull. The connection. The way he looked at me like I was something worth protecting. One condition, I said. Name it. After this is over, if I want to leave, you let me go. No threats. No manipulation. Clean break. His jaw tightened. But he nodded. You have my word. I took his hand. Let him pull me to my feet. Then let's destroy them both. His smile was fierce. Victorious. Together, Solnishko. We'll burn them to the ground. The next 3 days were a blur of preparation. Alexei's penthouse became our war room. Maps of Vane's estate spread across tables. Floor plans. Guest lists. Security rotations. The gala's exclusive, Alexei explained, pointing to the mansion layout. 50 guests maximum. All vetted. All dirty. How do I get in? As my date. My art consultant authenticating pieces for auction. He looked up. Vane will want to impress me. Show off his collection. That's when you get close. Record him talking about operations. About hits he's ordered. I studied the plans. Security. Armed guards. Cameras in public spaces, but not private rooms. He's paranoid but arrogant. Thinks he's untouchable. Alexei's smile was cold. We'll prove him wrong. My new identity was flawless.
Backstory.
Social media. References from collectors who owed Alexei favors. Everything designed to make me invisible until the moment we needed me seen. "You'll wear a wire," Alexei said. "Hidden in jewelry. If anything goes wrong, I'll be 20 feet away." And if Callahan's there? He won't be. Vane keeps his political connections separate from his criminal ones. Different events. Different circles.
He paused.
But we're still careful. One mistake, and we're both dead. The weight of that settled over me. This wasn't a controlled FBI operation. No backup. No safety net. Just me and a man I'd hated 3 days ago. "I'm scared," I admitted.
Good.
Fear keeps you sharp. He crossed to me, stood close enough that I felt his warmth. "But Kira, I won't let anything happen to you. You have my word." "Why do you care?" "I came here to destroy you. Because you're brave enough to admit when you're wrong. Because you want justice, not just revenge." His hand lifted to my face. "And because when I look at you, I see someone worth protecting. Even from myself." The moment stretched between us. Heavy. Electric. Then his phone buzzed. He stepped back, checked it, frowned. "Problem?" I asked. Vane moved the timeline. "Gala's tomorrow night." My stomach dropped. "Tomorrow? We're not ready. We have to be." He made several quick calls, speaking rapid Russian. When he finished, his expression was grim. "The dress arrives in an hour. I'll brief you on Vane's associates. Everything you need to know about who to approach and who to avoid. Alexei, you can do this." His eyes held mine. "I've seen you lie convincingly enough to fool me. You'll fool Vane." "You knew I was lying from the start." "Exactly. And you almost made me doubt what I knew." His smile was slight. "That takes talent." The dress arrived at noon. Red silk. Elegant, but dangerous. The kind of dress that made statements and broke hearts. Hidden in the hem was the recording device, activated by a small clasp at my wrist. I tried it on, stared at my reflection. The woman looking back was a stranger. Confident. Beautiful.
Deadly.
Devastating, Alexei said from the doorway. I turned. He was in a tuxedo.
Sharp.
Powerful. Every inch the dangerous man who ruled an empire. "You clean up well," I managed. "So do you." He crossed to me, pulled out a jewelry box. "One more thing." Inside was a necklace. Diamonds catching light like stars. "Alexei, this is necessary. You're my date. My partner. You need to look the part." He moved behind me, lifted the necklace. "May I?" I nodded. His fingers brushed my neck as he fastened the clasp.
Warm. Steady.
Sending shivers down my spine. "There," he said softly. "Perfect." Our eyes met in the mirror. His hands rested on my shoulders. "Tomorrow night, everything changes," he said. "We go in as allies. We come out with evidence that destroys Vane and Callahan. And then, Kira, you decide what happens next." "What do you want to happen?" His hands tightened slightly. "I want you to stay. Not because you have to. Not because of revenge or justice or obligation." He turned me to face him. "But because when this is over, you realize what I've known since that gallery. We're meant to find each other." "That's impossible. We're too different." "Are we?" "You see beauty in darkness. You understand that the world isn't simple. That sometimes monsters are just people who've been broken enough times." His thumb traced my jawline. "You see me, Kira. The real me. Not the reputation." "I don't know what I see anymore." "Then let me show you." He kissed me. Soft at first.
Testing.
Then deeper as I responded, my hands fisting in his tuxedo jacket, pulling him closer. He tasted like whiskey and danger, and everything I shouldn't want. When we broke apart, both breathing hard, his forehead rested against mine. "After tomorrow," he whispered. "No more lies. No more games. Just truth." "Just truth," I echoed. But as I stood there in his arms, I wondered whose truth we were chasing. His? Mine? Or something we'd build together in the ruins of everything we'd destroyed. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in the guest suite, no longer locked, staring at the ceiling. Tomorrow, I'd walk into a room full of criminals. Smile.
Charm.
Record evidence that would dismantle empires. Everything I'd trained for. Everything I'd wanted. So, why did my chest ache? A soft knock interrupted my thoughts. Come in, I called. Alexei entered. Still in dress pants, but shirtless now. Those tattoos on full display. Stories written in ink and scar tissue. Couldn't sleep either? He asked. Too much thinking. Dangerous habit. He sat on the edge of my bed. Want to talk about it? 3 days ago, I hated you. Wanted you dead. Now I'm wearing your diamonds and planning to risk my life helping you. I sat up. How did this happen? You learned the truth. Saw past the lies you'd been fed. He was quiet for a moment. Or maybe you always knew, deep down, and just needed permission to admit it. Admit what? That you feel this too. Whatever's between us. Connection.
Chemistry. Fate.
His hand found mine in the darkness. I don't believe in accidents, Kira. You walked into that gallery, for a reason. Maybe not the one you thought, but a reason. You think fate brought us together? I think beauty will save the world. And you, Solnishko, are the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I should have pulled away, maintained distance, stayed professional. Instead, I leaned forward and kissed him. Slowly this time. Deliberately. Answering the question we'd both been asking since that first night. He responded immediately. Hands in my hair. Mouth hot and demanding against mine. We fell back onto the bed. Lost in each other. Tomorrow's mission forgotten in the heat of right now. When we finally broke apart, I was breathless. Stay, I whispered. He smiled against my lips. Always. The estate was exactly what I expected from a man like Marcus Vane. Sprawling mansion in the Hamptons. Manicured gardens. Security disguised as valets. Guests arriving in cars worth more than houses. Alexei's hand rested on my lower back as we walked up marble steps. Possessive. Protective. Remember, he said quietly. You're confident. You belong here. You're mine.
Mine.
The word sent heat through me. We'd spent the morning in bed.
Talking.
Planning. Learning each other's tells and boundaries. Building the kind of trust that required more than just shared goals. Now, dressed in red silk and diamonds, I felt like a different person. Stronger. Dangerous. Mr. Volkov. A man in a dark suit appeared. Mr. Vane is delighted you could attend. I wouldn't miss it, Alexei said smoothly. We were led through the entrance hall. Marble floors. Crystal chandeliers. Art on the walls that was either stolen or fake. I couldn't tell from this distance. The main ballroom was full of Manhattan's criminal elite. Drug lords in tuxedos. Money launderers sipping champagne. Politicians pretending they weren't bought and paid for. Alexei Volkov. The voice came from behind us.
Smooth.
Oily. I didn't think you'd actually come. We turned. Marcus Vane was shorter than I expected. Silver hair. Expensive suit. The kind of smile that never reached his eyes. Marcus. Alexei's tone was perfectly neutral. Beautiful event. Nothing but the best. Vane's gaze slid to me. And who is this stunning creature? Kira Ashford. My art consultant. Consultant. Vane's smile widened. I didn't know you were in the market for new pieces. Always. If the quality is right. Alexei's hand tightened on my waist. Kira has an exceptional eye. Yale educated. Specializes in authentication. Perfect. I have several pieces in my private gallery that need expert opinion. Vane gestured toward a hallway. Would you mind, Miss Ashford? I'd love your professional assessment. This was it. The opening we needed. I'd be honored, I said. Alexei's jaw tightened slightly. We hadn't planned on being separated this quickly. I'll join you, he said. Actually, I'd prefer to discuss business first. Man to man. Vane's smile turned sharp. You understand. Miss Ashford will be perfectly safe. I'll have her back in 20 minutes. It was a test. A power play. Refusing would show weakness. Alexei looked at me. A whole conversation in that glance. Can you do this alone? I gave the slightest nod. 20 minutes, Alexei said. Then I come looking. Vane laughed. Possessive. I like that. The private gallery was down a long hallway. Away from the party. Away from witnesses. 2 guards followed us.
Armed.
Alert. My heart hammered, but I kept my expression neutral.
Bored even.
You're Volkov's latest acquisition, Vane said conversationally. How long have you been working for him? A week. He hired me after I identified a forgery at a gallery showing. Impressive. He's picky about who he trusts. Vane opened a door. After you. The room beyond was smaller than I expected. Dark wood. Subdued lighting. Paintings covering every wall. Some were legitimate. Others were obvious fakes.
Test pieces, I realized.
He was testing my expertise. That Vermeer, I said, pointing.
Fake.
Wrong pigmentation for the period. And the Rembrandt beside it is authentic, but stolen from a Munich collection in 2019. Vane's eyebrows lifted. Very good. And that one? He gestured at a landscape. Monet, maybe. Or a very good copy. I moved closer. Studied the brushwork. Activated the recording device at my wrist with a subtle motion. Authentic, I said. Early work. Before his water lily period. Excellent. You're as good as Volkov claimed. Vane poured 2 glasses of scotch. Handed me one. Tell me, Miss Ashford. Are you loyal to him? The question hung in the air. Dangerous. I'm loyal to whoever pays me, I said carefully. Practical. I appreciate that. He sipped his drink. Volkov and I have history. Complicated history. He's always been territorial about his operations. Refuses to share. Refuses to expand into markets that would benefit us both. That sounds frustrating. It is. Especially when I've tried to encourage cooperation. His smile was cold. 3 years ago, I made a statement. Sent a message about what happens when people refuse my offers. My blood turned to ice. He was talking about Maria. About the hits. What kind of statement? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Public ones. Loud ones. The kind that draw federal attention exactly where you want it. He moved closer. I had a problem with Volkov. I created a bigger problem that looked like his work. Suddenly, the FBI was too busy hunting him to notice what I was doing. The recording device was catching everything. Every word. Every admission.
That's brilliant, I said. It was.
Until one of my shooters got sloppy. Killed a paralegal outside a courthouse when he was supposed to hit a judge. Vane shrugged. Collateral damage. But it worked. The FBI assigned a whole task force to Volkov. My operations expanded unnoticed. Rage built in my chest.
Hot.
Blinding. He was talking about Maria like she was nothing. An inconvenience. The FBI believed it. I managed. Why wouldn't they? I had the director on payroll. Callahan made sure every investigation pointed at Volkov. Even recruited the dead girl's sister for the task force. He laughed. Used her grief like a weapon. Perfect distraction. I wanted to scream. To launch myself at him. To make him hurt the way Maria had hurt. But I smiled instead.
Sipped my scotch.
You're a genius, I said. I know. He set down his glass. Moved closer. Too close. Which is why I'm offering you a better deal. Work for me. Double whatever Volkov's paying. Access to collections he could only dream of. His hand touched my arm. I forced myself not to flinch. That's generous, I said. But I'm happy where I am.
Are you?
Because Alexei Volkov doesn't share well. Eventually, he'll see you as a threat. A liability. And then, the door burst open. Alexei stood there. Eyes dark. Dangerous. Taking in Vane's proximity to me with lethal precision. 20 minutes, he said flatly. Time's up. Vane stepped back. Hands raised. Just making an offer. Business. Kira.
Come.
I crossed to Alexei. His arm wrapped around me immediately. Possessive. Protective.
We're leaving, he said.
So soon? The auction hasn't even started. I have everything I need. His eyes held Vane's. Enjoy your evening, Marcus. I know I will. We walked out. Through the hallway. Past guards. Into the cool night air. The moment we reached the car, Alexei pulled me against him. Did you get it? He asked quietly. I nodded. Showed him the activated device. Everything. Confession about the hits. About Maria. About Callahan. His arms tightened around me. You were perfect.
Brave.
Brilliant. He touched me. I whispered. Talked about my sister like she was nothing. I know, Solnishko. I know. He kissed my forehead. But now we have him. Both of them. And tomorrow, we burn their world to the ground. We were halfway back to Manhattan when everything fell apart. Alexei was on his phone, speaking rapid Russian to his security team, making arrangements to deliver the recording to contacts in the Justice Department who weren't on Vane's payroll. I stared out the window, watching streetlights blur past. We'd done it. Maria would finally have justice. Then Alexei's phone rang again. Different tone.
Urgent.
Duh. He listened. His expression went from satisfied to furious in seconds.
When?
How many? He switched to English.
Kira.
We have a problem. My stomach dropped. What kind of problem? FBI raid team just hit my penthouse. 20 agents. Led by Director Callahan himself. His jaw tightened. Someone told him exactly when we'd be gone. Exactly where to look for evidence. That's impossible. No one knew. I stopped. Sienna. My handler. The only person who knew I was with Alexei. The only person who could have tracked me after the device stopped transmitting. She thinks I've been compromised, I said. She's trying to extract me by arresting me and destroying 3 years of my operation. Alexei's voice was ice. Did you know about this?
No.
I've had no contact with her since you took my phone. But you told her about the gala. About tonight. I had. Before everything changed. Before I knew the truth. I'd sent Sienna one text the morning after Alexei showed me Vane's files. Target is Marcus Vane. Evidence tonight.
Stand by.
I told her we were gathering evidence against Vane. I admitted.
Not you.
I was trying to redirect the investigation. And she used it to move against me instead. Alexei made another call. Gave orders. We can't go back to the penthouse. Callahan will have teams waiting. So what do? We run. Regroup. Figure out how to salvage this. He looked at me. Really looked. Unless you want out, I can drop you at a federal building. You walk in, tell them I kidnapped you, coerced you. You'll be safe. He was giving me an exit.
Clean. Easy.
3 days ago, I would have taken it. Now? I'm not leaving, I said. We finish this together. His expression softened. Even if it means becoming a fugitive? Going against everything you believed in. You didn't kill my sister. Vane did. Callahan covered it up. I grabbed his hand. The badge I wore meant justice. Real justice. Not protecting corrupt directors and murderers. You'll lose everything. Your career. Your reputation. I already lost everything when Maria died. The rest is just noise. I squeezed his hand. Where are we going? Safe house in Brooklyn. Off the books. Somewhere we can think. He raised my hand to his lips. Kissed my knuckles. Thank you, Solnishko. For choosing this. For choosing me. Don't thank me yet. We still have to survive. The safe house was a converted warehouse in Red Hook. Bare bones. Functional. Nothing like the penthouse luxury. Alexei's security team was already there.
3 men. Armed. Loyal.
Status. Alexei demanded as we entered. Penthouse is locked down. They took servers, files, everything. Callahan's claiming you're under investigation for trafficking and murder. The guard, Victor, paused. There's more. They issued a warrant for Kira Ashford. Aiding and abetting. Obstruction. They're calling her a compromised agent. My career was over. Officially. The recording?
I asked.
Did they find it?
No.
You have it.
Right.
The device was still hidden in my jewelry. I pulled it off carefully, handed it to Alexei. This is everything. Vane confessing to Maria's murder, to paying Callahan, to framing you. I met his eyes. This is justice. If we can get it to the right people without Callahan intercepting it. Alexei turned to Victor. Contact Walsh at the Southern District. He's clean. Hates Callahan. Get this recording to him tonight. On it. Victor disappeared, leaving us in the converted warehouse with guards outside and sirens wailing somewhere in the distance. We're fugitives now, I said quietly. Both of us. Yes. I went from FBI agent to criminal in 72 hours. Do you regret it? I thought about Maria, about 3 years of hunting the wrong man, about Callahan using my grief as a weapon. No, I said finally. I regret believing him, trusting the wrong people. But this? Us.
I don't regret that.
Alexei crossed to me,
Framed my face with his hands.
When this is over, when Vane and Callahan are arrested and your name is cleared, you can go back. Resume your life. I'll make sure of it. What if I don't want to? His eyes searched mine. What are you saying? I'm saying maybe I was never meant to be an FBI agent. Maybe I was supposed to find you. To understand that the world isn't black and white. That sometimes the monsters are the people in power and the criminals are just surviving. Kira, I'm saying I love you. The words hung between us. Impossible.
True.
You can't, he said quietly. We've known each other less than a week. I know. It's insane. It's reckless. I pulled him closer. But from that moment in the gallery, something changed. Like I recognized you. Like I'd been looking for you my whole life without knowing it. Solnishko. Tell me you don't feel it too. Tell me I'm alone in this and I'll walk away.
Right now.
No argument. He was quiet for a long moment. Then he kissed me. Hard. Desperate. Like I was oxygen and he'd been drowning. When we broke apart, his forehead rested against mine. I've loved you since you called that Caravaggio a forgery, he whispered. Since you looked at me like I might be worth something. Like beauty and darkness could exist in the same person. They do exist.
In you.
In me. In this moment. If we do this. If we're together. Your life changes forever. No going back. I don't want to go back. I want to go forward. With you. His arms wrapped around me. Held me like I was something precious. Then we go forward together. After we destroy Vane and Callahan. After justice is served. And then I show you the world. All the beauty worth protecting. All the darkness worth fighting. He pulled back. Looked at me with those impossibly dark eyes. I'll give you everything, Kira. Museums.
Art.
Cities you've only dreamed of. And I'll never let anyone hurt you again. Promise. I swear it on my father's grave. On my life. On every beautiful thing I've ever stolen. His thumb brushed my cheek. You're mine now. And I protect what's mine.
Mine.
The possessiveness should have scared me. Instead, it felt like coming home. Victor returned an hour later. Walsh has the recording. He's bringing it to the Attorney General personally. Says Callahan's done. Vane too. Alexei exhaled. Timeline. 48 hours. Maybe less. They're moving fast. And the warrant for Kira? Walsh is working on it. Once Callahan's arrested, her involvement becomes cooperation, not obstruction. Victor paused. She'll be cleared. Eventually. Eventually. Not immediately. Not easily. But cleared. Thank you, I said quietly. Victor nodded. Left us alone again. Alexei pulled me against him. 2 more days. Then it's over. What happens to us after? Whatever you want. Stay in New York. Travel. Build something new. He kissed my temple. As long as we're together, I don't care. I believed him. For the first time in 3 years, I believed in something beyond revenge. I believed in possibility. In beauty. In love found in the darkest places. 2 more days, I whispered. And then the rest of our lives. The rest of our lives, Solnishko. I promise. 48 hours felt like forever. We stayed in the warehouse, watching news reports, waiting for Walsh to move, for justice to finally catch up with the men who destroyed so many lives. Alexei barely slept.
He paced,
Made calls, coordinated with lawyers and contacts across the city, building walls of protection around us both. I watched him work, this man who'd become everything I didn't know I needed. You should rest, I said on the second night.
Can't.
Not until it's done. Alexei. If this goes wrong, if Walsh can't get the recording admitted, if Callahan finds a way out, we're finished. He turned to face me. You'll be wanted. I'll be arrested. Everything we've done will be for nothing. It won't go wrong. You don't know that. I know Walsh. His reputation. He's spent years trying to catch Callahan dirty. This recording is everything he needs. I crossed to him, wrapped my arms around his waist. Have faith. Faith is for people who haven't seen what I've seen. Then have faith in me, in us. His arms came around me, held tight. I do. That's what terrifies me. He kissed the top of my head. Losing you now after finally finding you. I couldn't survive it. You won't lose me. I'm not going anywhere. Promise. Promise. We stood there in the darkness. Two people who'd found each other in the wreckage of everything we'd been, building something new from the ruins. Then Alexei's phone rang. Walsh. It's done, the prosecutor said. Federal marshals arrested Callahan an hour ago. Vane's in custody. The Attorney General is personally overseeing the case. Relief flooded through me so fast, I nearly collapsed. And Kira? Alexei asked. The warrant's been rescinded. She's cleared. Her cooperation was instrumental in bringing down a corrupt director and a major criminal operation. Walsh paused. She's a hero, Volkov. Not a fugitive. Alexei's eyes found mine. Did you hear that, Solnishko? You're clear. I couldn't speak. Could barely breathe. 3 years of hunting. 3 days of running. And now, justice. Real justice.
For Maria.
For everyone Vane and Callahan had destroyed. Thank you. I managed.
Thank you, Miss Ashford.
Without that recording, we'd never have gotten either of them. Walsh's tone shifted. As for you, Volkov, your situation is more complicated. Alexei's expression closed. How complicated? The evidence against you is compromised. Collected under Callahan's corrupt investigation. Most of it will be thrown out. But that doesn't mean you're clean. It means you have an opportunity. What kind of opportunity? Cooperation. Full disclosure on your operations. Help us dismantle what's left of Vane's network. In exchange, immunity on specified charges. Alexei was quiet for a long moment. I'll need terms in writing. You'll have them tomorrow. Think about it, Volkov. This is your chance to walk away. Start clean. The call ended. Alexei stared at his phone like it held answers to questions he hadn't asked yet. What are you thinking? I asked. That I've spent 15 years building an empire. And now I'm being offered a chance to burn it down. Would that be so bad? It means giving up everything. Power. Control. The life I've known. But you'd be free. Truly free. No more looking over your shoulder. No more violence. I touched his face. We could build something real. Something that doesn't require looking at shadows. You make it sound simple. It is simple. Justice for the guilty. Freedom for us. A future that doesn't end in prison or worse. He pulled me close. What kind of future? Whatever we want. Museums.
Travel.
Quiet mornings and loud nights. A life that's ours. I smiled. I hear art consulting pays well. We could work together. Legitimate business. No stolen paintings. That sounds boring. That sounds perfect. He laughed. Actually laughed. You're going to reform me, aren't you? I'm going to love you. The rest will follow. His expression softened. I don't deserve you. Probably not. But you're stuck with me anyway. Good. He kissed me.
Slow. Sweet.
Because I'm never letting you go. The next morning, federal agents escorted us to the Southern District Courthouse.
Volch met us outside.
Miss Ashford. Mr. Volkov. Is it really over?
I asked.
Callahan's confessed. Gave up bank records, shell companies, everything. Vane's fighting, but with your recording, it's hopeless. Walsh handed Alexei a folder. Your immunity agreement. Pending cooperation. Alexei read it quickly. This is generous. The AG wants Vane's entire network. You can give us that. In exchange, you walk on everything except tax evasion. 3 years probation. No jail time. And my assets? Legitimate holding stay. Anything tied to criminal activity gets seized. You'll survive. Just not as wealthy. Alexei looked at me. Thoughts? I think you should take it. I think we both deserve a second chance. He signed the papers. Just like that, 15 years of criminal empire dissolved. One more thing, Walsh said. The story's breaking in an hour. FBI director arrested for corruption. Major crime boss turned state's evidence. Miss Ashford, you're going to be famous. I groaned. I don't want to be famous. Too late. You're the agent who brought down her own director. Media's going to love it. Can I refuse interviews? You can try. Walsh smiled. Good luck. Both of you. We left the courthouse through a back entrance. Avoiding cameras. Avoiding questions. Alexei's car was waiting. Not the SUV. Something smaller. More anonymous. Where to? The driver asked. Alexei looked at me. Your choice, Solnishko. I thought about the penthouse. About my old apartment. About lives we'd left behind. Somewhere new, I said. Somewhere that's just ours. I know a place. He gave the driver an address. Then turned to me. Small estate upstate. Near a museum. Gardens. Privacy. I bought it years ago. Never used it. Was saving it for something that mattered. And now I have something that matters.
He took my hand. You. Us.
Whatever we build together. The car pulled away from the courthouse. Away from the chaos. Towards something quieter. Something real. What about your collection? I asked. The legitimate pieces? In storage. Waiting to be displayed properly. Maybe we open a private gallery. Share the beauty instead of hoarding it. You do that. For you, I'd do anything. He pulled me against him. These past days, you've shown me there's more than just survival. There's living, creating, loving.
I want all of it.
With you. Even if it means becoming boring art consultants who drink wine and argue about brushstrokes. Especially then. He kissed me. Because boring with you sounds like the greatest adventure I've ever had. I laughed against his lips. You're ridiculous. I'm in love. There's a difference. Say it again. I love you, Kira Ashford. I love your passion, your courage, your ability to see beauty even in broken things. His hands framed my face. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving I'm worthy of you. You already are. Not yet, but I will be. Outside, the city blurred past. Old life fading. New one waiting. Maria's death had justice now. Callahan and Vane would spend decades in prison. The FBI would rebuild without corruption. And me? I'd found something I didn't know I was searching for. Love in the darkness. Beauty in the ruins. A partner who understood that broken things could be beautiful. 2 weeks, Alexei said. Give me 2 weeks to set up the estate. To make it perfect. Then we start our new life. Together? Always together. I promise. I'll hold you to that. Please do. 6 months later. The gallery opening was exactly what I'd imagined. Soft lighting. Carefully curated pieces. Guests who genuinely appreciated art instead of just collecting trophies. Alexei stood beside me, hand resting on my lower back. Confident.
Proud.
Completely transformed from the dangerous man I'd met in that Manhattan gallery. Nervous? He asked quietly. Terrified. What if no one comes? Solnishko, look around. The gallery was packed. Critics. Collectors. museum curators. All here to see the Volkov collection, now legitimately displayed, properly authenticated, available for public viewing. We'd spent 6 months planning this, converting Alexei's estate into a private museum, cataloging every piece, returning stolen works to their rightful owners, keeping only what was legally his. It had been hard, letting go of pieces he'd spent years acquiring, admitting that beauty didn't need to be possessed to be appreciated. But he'd done it.
For me.
For us. For the life we were building. Miss Ashford, a curator from the Met, approached. Your authentication work is extraordinary. We'd love to discuss a consulting position. I'm flattered, but I'm happy where I am. Running your own gallery. Smart move. She smiled. If you change your mind, call me. When she left, Alexei pulled me close. You could have said yes. The Met is prestigious. I don't need prestigious. I need meaningful. I looked up at him. This is meaningful. What we've built. Who we've become. Former crime lord and former FBI agent turned art dealers. Quite the redemption arc. I prefer love story. His smile was soft. It is that. The evening continued. Sales were made. Connections formed. Critics praised our collection and our mission, making art accessible, not hoarded. As the crowd thinned, I found myself standing in front of a painting I'd insisted we keep. The Caravaggio study. The one that had started everything. Still thinking about that night? Alexei asked, joining me. Always. One moment changed everything. I knew the second you called it a forgery that you were dangerous. Dangerous how? Dangerous to my carefully constructed walls. My belief that I'd always be alone. That love was for people who hadn't seen what I'd seen. He turned me to face him. You proved me wrong. Good. You needed to be wrong about something. He laughed. Still arrogant. Still honest. There's a difference. Is there? His hands settled on my waist. Tell me, Kira. Are you happy? I thought about the past 6 months. Morning coffee on the terrace. Arguments about art theory. Nights wrapped in each other. Building something real from the ashes of who we'd been.
Yes.
Are you? More than I ever thought possible. He pulled out a small box. Which is why I want to make this permanent. My breath caught. Alexei. I know it's fast. I know we've only been together 6 months. But Solnishko, I've lived enough lifetimes to recognize forever when I find it. He opened the box. Inside was a ring.
Simple.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Marry me. Build this life with me. Let me spend every day proving I'm worthy of you. Tears blurred my vision. You're already worthy. Is that a yes? That's a definitely, absolutely, completely yes. He slipped the ring on my finger. Kissed me like we weren't standing in a gallery full of priceless art. Like I was the only beautiful thing that mattered. When we broke apart, applause echoed through the space. Our staff, remaining guests, all watching, all smiling. Guess we're public now, I said. Good. Let the world know you're mine. Possessive as ever. Always. You knew what you were getting into.
I did.
The former crime lord with a passion for beauty and a protective streak a mile wide. The man who'd shown me that love existed in unexpected places. That redemption was possible. That broken people could create something whole. Come, he said, pulling me toward the exit. Let's go home.
Home.
The estate with its gardens and gallery and quiet mornings. The life we'd built together. As we drove through the darkness, Alexei's hand found mine. Thank you, he said quietly. For what? For seeing me. For choosing me. For believing I could be more than what I was. You were always more. You just needed someone to notice. I needed you. And now you have me. Forever. Forever, he echoed. I like the sound of that. 1 year later, we stood in front of the Caravaggio again. The real one this time. In the Louvre. On our honeymoon. Still your favorite? Alexei asked. Always. The way he captured light and darkness existing together. Beauty in violence. Hope and despair. Like us. Exactly like us. He wrapped his arms around me from behind. Maria would be proud of you, of what you've built, the justice you found. I thought about my sister, about the 3 years I'd spent hunting the wrong man, about finding the right one instead. She would have liked you, I said, once she got past the whole crime lord thing. Former crime lord.
Right.
Former. I turned in his arms. Are you happy? Kira, I'm standing in the Louvre with my wife, looking at art that took my breath away, planning which gallery we'll visit tomorrow. Happy doesn't begin to cover it. What does? Grateful. Blessed. More in love than I thought possible. He kissed my forehead. You saved me, Solnishko. From myself. From a life that would have destroyed me eventually. You gave me purpose. Meaning. Love. You saved me too. From believing the world was only black and white. From thinking justice meant revenge. I smiled. We saved each other. The best kind of love story. The only kind worth telling. We stood there as tourists flowed around us. 2 people who'd found each other in the darkness. Who'd chosen love over hate. Redemption over revenge. Beauty over destruction. The Caravaggio glowed in its frame. Light and shadow dancing together. Proof that opposites could coexist. That beauty emerged from darkness. That love conquered everything. Ready? Alexei asked. For what? The rest of our lives. Museums. Adventures. Morning coffee. Late nights. All of it. I took his hand. Lead the way. As we walked out of the gallery into Paris sunlight, I thought about that night months ago. The fake painting. The dangerous man. The choice that changed everything. I'd gone to destroy him. Instead, I'd found home. Found love in the last place I expected. Found proof that beauty really could save the world. One heart at a time. Starting with mine. And just like that, the FBI agent hunting a killer fell in love with him instead. But here's the twist you didn't see coming. He was innocent all along. Kira walked into that gallery with 3 years of rage and a plan for revenge. She walked out of it with a ring on her finger and a man who proved that sometimes the monster you're hunting is actually the hero you needed. So tell me, could you forgive someone you spent years hating once you learned the truth? Drop your answer below. I read every single comment. If you loved Kira and Alexei's story, smash that like button and subscribe because tomorrow I'm bringing you another Mafia romance that will leave you breathless. Thanks for being here, beautiful souls. See you in the next one.